Well, let's get back into campaign mode, shall we? Joining us on the Southwest Air and Heat Hotline is our state treasurer, Todd Russ. Good morning.
Good morning, Todd. You know, I tell people it's the Todd and Todd show, and I'm back.
It is, just like old times. Well, my goodness, two Cordell guys talking about things. You know, it's just amazing, thinking about to your first run for the State House, and you served, 6 terms there, and now you just completed your first term as state treasurer. Tell us your thoughts on the last 4 years.
Oh, man, it's just been absolutely fantastic. It's been a perfect fit coming from a banking career, spending 30 years in banking, bank CEO, and then coming into the Treasury. You know, people wonder, what does the treasurer do? What is the treasurer? And honestly, the state treasurer is the bank CEO for the state of Oklahoma's money. So it's been an absolutely perfect match for me, and we have just had success after success after success and record after record since I've been in there. And yes.
Well, the most important thing is that you do have money to manage, because when you think back to your first few years in the legislature, we were facing some tough economic times, and through your work and the governor and really the legislature of the last 6 years, we have done a rainy day fund and then some, right?
Yes, absolutely. Todd, the Treasury has 6 divisions underneath the Treasury. I sit on 11 state boards as the state treasurer, chair some of those, and I manage a $18 billion portfolio that has to be invested and managed for cash flow and those kinds of things, just like a bank CEO would run his bank. We have over $4 billion in reserves for the state of Oklahoma right now. That is a fantastic number because, like you said, when I came into the legislature 15-ish years ago or longer, we went through some really tough times. So Oklahoma is doing fantastic right now. We're just seeing some great things happen, and we diversify our economy and got a lot of things in the right places, doing the right things.
Well, once again, many different funds that you have to manage and take care of, and one that a lot of people, it affects them personally, state employees, county employees with the pension and retirement systems. Obviously, you got to make sure that we have money for the people that were promised to them, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I started that journey early on in the legislature, very beginning of the legislative career that I had after my banking, and we actually had to save the pensions. They were about to go bankrupt, and we actually got them up and on good footings, and now we're actually seeing some of those pensions 100% plus vested. Some of them, the largest one is the teacher retirement system. It's $24 billion. It's obviously the big one, so it's slower to build back up, but it hit 80% vested this year, and actually they gave some pay raises when that happened. So yeah, it's been a big turnaround, and one of the chair positions I have as the state treasurer, I'm the chairman of the Pension Oversight Commission. So watching over those pensions and their investments is a big part of what I do.
Yeah, and it's funny because for everything that you guys have done stabilizing these funds, seems like that doesn't draw headlines. But the thing that draws headlines is you've tried to stop these funds from investing in some of these wacky DEI companies that don't share Oklahoma values. And for some reason, people take shots at you for that. But that's what most of us want, right?
Yeah, you're spot on. I'm telling you, the ESG world out there was just taking advantage of investments from states like Oklahoma. They were literally taking our money, billions of dollars that we'd invest to New York Wall Street people, and they would turn around and use those dollars of ours, take our shares of stock and vote the proxies on those to harm our industries. They voted against oil and gas. They're against agriculture. They're wanting all these things like forcing corporations to provide puberty blockers for minors, transition surgery for minors, all of these things with our money that it's like, that is not what Oklahoma wants with their money. And so I called them out on it and told them that either they better stop it or we're going to pull our money. And therefore, that's probably the number one reason I am in the race that I'm in today.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, they hear the word ESG. It stands for Environmental Social Governance, which is just a leftist ideology to, as you said, do away with, fossil fuels and all of these other wacky DEI things too. Yes,
they'll force corporations to match employer programs like matching for LGBTQ clubs and those types of things. But if you want to have your paycheck matched for Feed the Children, because it's a Christian organization, they refuse to do that. And those are the kinds of things that I've been pushing back on. And it has definitely stirred up a lot of big, powerful people across the United States.
Well, and some of the pushback is, well, some of these funds have been around for a long time and they're well managed, but let's be honest, you can do better investing in other funds that don't mess with this stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I hope your audience will understand. You're going to hear in this campaign of mine, you're going to hear in the race from my opponent that we should be focusing on the yield and the return on the investment, not get caught up in all the other things that are going on. That is absolutely absurd. Yes, we need to be focusing on the yield because we can get a better yield by not investing in this ESG, DEI forced stuff. You put oil and gas in there and it's going to perform better. And that's the thing that I say you've got to look for both. I mean, you need to hold them accountable for high performance, and you also need it to be not anti-Oklahoma industries at the same time. And if somebody wants to look the other way because they think the performance is suitable, that is not a fiduciary place to be. And we're just telling them to get out of the politics and just, pay attention to our investment dollars like they should.
And there are some Oklahoma-based investments that you can look at as well, right? Or probably already have, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing that you've probably seen in the press. They've given me a hard time because the legislature created this Invest in Oklahoma program, put it under the Treasury, created a board with the governor, lieutenant governor, the treasurer, and two appointees from the Senate and the House. And, it's up to the treasurer to stand that up and get it created and functioning. And we have to bring in a money manager to help vet these companies to bring proposed investments to us. And, those are some things that we were trying to do. And because of politics, we've got all these accusations floating around that it wasn't done correctly and all sorts of claims. And it's like it was done exactly like it should have been. And the claims they are making are just things for distractions.
Yeah, and then you've got other people running for office, just not, for your job, as you mentioned with your opponent, but you've got some guy running for governor who I think is the attorney general. I can't remember, some Drummond guy. But it seems like you're under the gun from him all the time. What's going on with that?
It's just the same thing that I was telling you about. It's all this silly season of politics and trying to get attention. And, he and I, we don't see things the same way. I'm not interested in protecting some of these actors, and he's trying to kind of move me out of my lane and kind of wrangle the herds, so to speak. He wants everybody to come and answer to him, and I guess people need to know that the constitutional provision for a state treasurer is a constitutional position, just like the attorney general is a constitutional position, and it's a separation of powers. It's independence for both of us, and the idea that that office can run my office is just absolutely not constitutional. And some people have a problem with being less powerful than they want to be.
Well, and he tries to talk about accountability, but that's something that you've really brought to the treasurer's office, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this story going out about me not being open and transparent and not providing open records is just a trap. It's a perfect trap by out-of-state black dark money companies, paper companies that go out. Some corporation that doesn't want us to know who they are will go contract through them to do an open record request, and they'll make this impossible request for all the emails you've got since 2020. Well, that's tens of thousands, not millions, and they know you can't comply with it, so they fire that at you. And when it slows down and bogs down and you can't get it, then they sue you and say, well, he's violating the open records. Well, they're weaponizing that statute and trying to make me look like I'm trying to hide something. We deal with open records every day. We deal with records we have for years, and we put out hundreds, if not thousands, of open record documents on a regular basis, some of those this very same day. But when they're gaining this, it's impossible, and they know it, and they're just trying to, just impugn the office with it. And it's just kind of part of what I have to deal with.
Yeah, they love just getting a headline in the Daily Oklahoman or something like that, and they figure that, well, most people aren't going to read, the whole story. They just see a headline, they go, uh-oh, trouble ahead. Yeah. But that's politics as usual, right?
That's right. It's just part of it. Politics are messy.
Well, one of the other things that I remember last time you were on the show that you've done such a great job is the Unclaimed Property Fund. Last time you were on the show, you told me about the website. It was really easy, and you could type in information. And I put in all my family members and just seeing if we had anything. We didn't. But then I thought, hey, I'm just going to put in my uncle's name. And boom, he found something that he didn't realize that he'd forgotten about. It wasn't, millions of dollars in diamonds, but still he was pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that's great. And we have worked really hard with unclaimed property. I mean, when I came in, I had a mission to completely transform unclaimed property. Keep in mind, the reason we have it's because everybody else gave up on it. They couldn't find them. We can't hardly find them. It is very, very complicated, and we have a ton of fraud where people are trying to file fraudulent claims because they get a match with the name they know is not theirs. So I've completely revamped that. I mean, it's like doing road construction. You just got to rip everything out and start all over. We've completely changed the process. We've changed the software. We've changed the processing, and we've taken some shortcuts on, and with good guardrails. We'll be mailing out claims less than $5,000 that we can get a known 2 out of 3 match on. We're not even asking them to fill out an application. We're going to send that to them if we've confirmed that ourselves. We'll just mail them the check, and we're going to get more of these. We're going to get thousands more claims out and not have this process where it just is overly burdensome. Now, there will be some that are complicated, and people get real frustrated, but when you've got 3 or 4 siblings and you're all fussing and fighting over the estate, we get caught in the middle, and they don't know why we don't pay the claims, and they start getting real public about it. So it'll never be perfect because you've got those kinds of situations that makes it really complicated, but we're going to do a phenomenal job. If I get reelected, we're going to completely see the outcome of all these changes I made start happening here in the next 6 months or so, and it will be phenomenal.
We're talking with Oklahoma State Treasurer Todd Russ. He's a Cordell guy like myself, and obviously serving as the treasurer the last 4 years. You've been in the legislature. You've had the banking background as well. Why do people need to send you back? Why are you the best person in this race?
It's a great question, and I appreciate you asking me that question because this is a real job. It's not just a political position. It is a worker bee job. I told you all the things that are responsible for as the state treasurer. I come with a pedigree from the finance world and have spent 30 years in the private sector working a job for the private sector, creating payroll, managing a commercial loan portfolio, managing an investment portfolio, sitting on a bank board, dealing with regulators, dealing with all kinds of compliance issues, setting vision and all those things for 30 years. And, the fact is my opponent spent 30 years taking a paycheck off the taxpayers doing one thing, doing the same thing for 30 years. And that's a great profession, but it is a single retrospective profession, and a bank CEO has to be looking forward. They have to be leaning in. They have to be looking for all sorts of ways to solve problems and create a profit. And Todd, when I came in, the year before I came in, that portfolio made $80 million for the general revenue. I converted to a Bloomberg platform, changed some things around, reinvested some things. Last year we made $450 million, and I'm fixing to break $465 million this year. Found some of the relationships in some of the banks that have been laying around there for 15, 20 years. Looked and I thought, man, that doesn't look right on the pricing. Went out and got an RFP to have a competitive bid on the pricing, and sure enough, they were almost 80% over the market. So we fired them. Asked my custodial banks, what are you doing with our overnight on our overnight security? He says, well, we're really not doing much, but we paid you $350,000 last year on those. This is billions of dollars of value. I fired them, got somebody who knew what they're doing, and that made $10 million the next year. I'll make about $14 million this year. I mean, those are just some of the wins that I've got 2 pages of things that we've accomplished just like that, record after record, historic gains and wins that may never be done before. Got three national bond rating agency upgrades for the state of Oklahoma. And since I've been in the last 3 years, that's never been done and probably ever in history and may never be done again. I mean, these are the kinds of wins that the right person can get if he's in there at the right time. And, everybody knows experience counts, but in this job, the right experience is even more important. And this is a bank CEO position.
Once again, talking to State Treasurer Todd Russ. Obviously, it's great to hear that the state is in great financial shape right now. Obviously, the economy in our state for the average person going up and down. Are there some things that your office can do to kind of help everyday Oklahomans kind of figure out their budgets and stuff like that, how they can become savers?
Well, we have the Oklahoma 529 plan, which is a savings plan for education for young families and even grandparents for kids coming on. That is a tax-free opportunity. People say, well, I've got a savings account at my bank, and that's good. But this one is tax-free, and that's the big thing about this. It's an investment account that's tax-free if it's used for the education of their kids, and they're going to need it. It can be used for all sorts of things. It's not just college. And so those are some of the things that we have. We do a financial literacy that kind of goes along with that. We're also partnering with the Trump's baby, not the baby bonds, but the
Trump accounts, right?
Trump accounts, yes, Trump accounts. As a matter of fact, I just got back from D.C. on that very subject matter. So the legislature passed and appropriated some money for a similar program. They call it the DREAM account that'll partner and run parallel with the Trump accounts. That'll be another $250 for each person that gets into that. So that's a nice little start for babies being born in Oklahoma that can get a boost and see how that goes. And we'll be managing that through the Treasury. So yeah, there's some things going on.
Well, and just with that whole point, do you think schools, there's a place for them to do more financial literacy for the kids? Because, man, I tell you what, if you start saving early, you don't have to worry about relying on Social Security when you retire, But it just seems like we don't stress that enough.
Yeah, it is very, very important. And we actually do a tour through the Treasury for, financial literacy, but the problem is the time slots in the class. I mean, when I was in the legislature, we looked at it. They look at it almost every year, and it's just there's just no slots that can be given up for some of the other things. And I don't know, maybe we'll have to do it like driver's ed or something, where they have to pick it up in the summer or something. Because I think a lot of parents would probably support that, and it is so important, so important.
Well, just a couple of minutes left. Once again, running for re-election. Of course, it's going to be a primary coming up on June 16th. Right now, any Democrats running on the other side of the general, or is this just you and your Republican opponent?
Well, the race will be decided in the June primary, and it's that makes it tough because I'm having to run a 12-month campaign in 8 weeks the way this has turned out. So I'm really, really busy going day and night just trying to get people to know that I'm still running and that I've got another term and want to be their state treasurer for one more term. And I actually have a libertarian that's filed against me also. So, I'll have to go into the general, but the deciding factor is going to be who comes out of this June primary, June 16th. And I certainly hope the people will understand all the accomplishments we've had and let me finish that 4 years.
And how can people get more information about your office and the campaign?
They can go on my website, todd@toddruss.com, or Todd Russ for state treasurer. Just Google me about almost anything. If your name pops up, just tell them to look for Todd Russ instead of the big Todd.
The big Todd, right? Oh my goodness. Well, Todd, as always, I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to visit with you. Good luck in June 16th. We hope to talk to you again too.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Todd. It's always great talking to you. Good to be talking at home.
Absolutely. We'll be back with more right after this on the Wake Up Show.
The Clinton Chamber of Commerce invites you to a special legislative lunch and state Senate candidate forum Friday, May 29th at noon at the Frisco Center in Clinton. Enjoy a great lunch catered by the Branding Iron Restaurant and hear from state Senate candidates Brady Butler, Rick Cook, and Jessica Weingart as they discuss the issues impacting Western Oklahoma. Moderated by Nathan Maggott, Superintendent of Clinton Public Schools. Seating is limited, so reserve your spot today by calling the Clinton Chamber of Commerce.
The Declaration of Deals sales event is happening now at Cummins Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Weatherford. Whether you're looking for power, performance, or everyday reliability, Cummins has the perfect ride ready to roll. And here's savings you don't want to miss. Drive home in a brand new 2026 Ram truck and get a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty for added peace of mind. Test drive all CDJR models. Cummins Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Weatherford, just off I-40, or at CumminsChrysler.com.
Once an Obama Democrat, always an Obama Democrat. That's the story with Charles McCall. McCall was a Democrat well into his 40s, even while Obama was president. Called himself a progressive. McCall remained a Democrat for years after Obama became president. In the legislature, McCall voted for higher taxes 20 times. 20 times. Really? And as Speaker, he pushed the largest tax increase in state history. McCall even voted to send your tax dollars to a hospital performing gruesome sex change operations on minors. That's right. McCall sent your tax dollars to fund sex change operations on kids. Despicable. But that's the real Charles McCall. Once an Obama Democrat, always an Obama Democrat. Obama Democrat Charles McCall. Too liberal for Oklahoma. Authorized and paid for by Mazie for Governor 2026.
An iconic Route 66 landmark, formerly Jig's Smokehouse, is selling in an online auction in Clinton. Positioned at a high-traffic I-40 exit with over 25,000 vehicles a day, this 2,112-square-foot commercial building with a second-floor living area sits on approximately 2.4 acres, and it all sells to the highest bidder over $80,000. And that's not all. A separate online auction is packed with restaurant equipment and furnishings, smokers, refrigerators, prep tables, seating, appliances, and more. Don't miss your chance. Both auctions end May 26th. Bid today at herdauction.highbid.com. That's herdauction.highbid.com.
Deer Creek Market and Variety in Hydro, the best in friendly small-town customer service, hosting everything from fresh hand-cut steaks, fresh ground beef made in-house, along with fresh fruits and vegetables grown and made in Oklahoma, nuts, candies, salsas, pickles, and more. And don't forget to check out the Variety side, full of unique made-in-Oklahoma gift items. And now, treat yourself to the brand-new ice cream and coffee parlor, your new go-to spot for a sweet scoop or a fresh brew. Shop Deer Creek Market and Variety in Hydro.
David, I'm having a tough time sleeping. You got any thoughts on that?
You need to come in and let us get you on the right mattress, Harold. It'll make all the difference in the world.
Talk about that a little bit.
Right now, with Stearns & Foster, we have up to $900 savings on their adjustable mattress sets. The Tempur-Pedic, $500 on select adjustable mattress sets. And we have a large selection to choose from, so you're going to find what you need.
18, folks, 18 months, same as cash. That's no interest, no down payment. So come on into Todd Fest. That's all with approved credit. Todd Fest on the main corner in downtown Weatherford.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 30% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
Horse Creek Landscaping, Sonic of Weatherford, and Gloria's would like to congratulate the graduating class of 2026 from Weatherford High School.
Hi, I'm Katie Kreisenbeck, one of the valedictorians of Weatherford High School. My favorite memory in high school is all of the fun that we have at choir rehearsals preparing for the musical. In the fall, I will attend Oklahoma City University to study acting with a minor in directing. Good luck to my fellow 2026 classmates.
7:25. It is the Western Oklahoma Wake Up Show, brought to you by Priority Home Medical Equipment. John Matthews back.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm sorry, this is embarrassing, Todd. I'm still in here. I'm still like a little behind the scenes. Sometimes we have to record commercials for things and get things going, and I've got the script, and I'm halfway. Can I just finish this real fast?
Yeah.
Let me
go
just
for it.
I'm sorry. Todd Bruner spent years behind a microphone talking about fixing government. Now he wants to run for it. But talking isn't leading. As a host of his radio station, Bruner built a career stirring outrage and division instead of bringing people together. And now he's asking voters to trust him with the governor's office. I think that's...
You forgot... endorsed by President Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
He's not an Obama Democrat. He's never once asked for sex change surgeries for minors.
That's right. There's so many of those ads on right now. It's crazy. There's one for you, too, but are we ready for it to be over? Because we still have, June is the actual primary, and then we get into the whole really Democrat bash. You know what I mean? Like where it's the real dirt.
Yeah, well, the mailers, every day I have to clear out my mailbox because, once again, there's a couple of guys out there that are, quote, political consultants, but guess what their side hustle is? They own mail-out services.
Smart.
So printing and mail-out services. So they're a consultant, and they say, you need to put these mailers because they really work. No, they don't. People throw them away as soon as they come out. And but you
at least look at them for half a second.
I don't even pay attention.
Yes, you
to what
do.
they
You say you don't, but you do.
Subliminal
messaging. You see Big McCall or Big whoever on there, and you're like, oh, Drummond, okay, maybe, and then trash. I'll give it to you. But the other side of that is the negative side of voting for everything, which I was really proud of myself. I've never missed an election until the recent Weatherford School Board election I completely forgot about. But other than that, literally the last 20 years, voted in every possible thing I could vote in, is now you're in every database possible. So you're getting all the mail. I'm getting text messages.
Well,
like
I was
going to
mention the text is ridiculous. And I've had a few candidates, obviously, for state office, just like we did today.
Right.
And I give them my cell phone number so I can keep in contact with their people and make sure our interview's on schedule. And I think that has also got my number on these text alerts.
Really?
Because every candidate is sending me a text at all hours of the day or night. Did you know that candidate so-and-so once was a cross-dressing stripper?
It's true.
In Bessie?
Oh, well, I mean.
And voted for Obama. So it's
wild.
Hilarious.
It's wild, and you believe none of it. That's the other part. We all are, everybody's skeptical, and I believe zero things I'm getting in the mail, zero text messages. At some point, you got to find some AI-generated thing to form your opinion. That's the world we're living in.